But question for Black Dot is, what advice do you give young MCs that are looking to break into the game, into the business of real or true hip hop? And Griff definitely can answer that also in reference to the business format that he put forth, the workshops that he's going to do in Milwaukee, and he might be doing it throughout the nation.
Well, the answer I would first give to a young MC is to first begin to understand the power of his words, because the power of his words will determine just the effect that it will have on the people. The young ones need to know that their words carry energy and vibrations to them, and that negative words will destroy things, even things beyond the ethers that they can physically see. And positive words build things and construct things in a certain nature. So watch your words first. Understand that this is a business. That's why they call it the music business. And if you don't understand the dynamics of the business aspect, then what you get is what you deserve. So understand the inner and outer aspects of the business. Study and research what has already been said and what hasn't been said, because you don't want to come up and reinforce someone else's message. Find your path, find your niche, and when you do that, you will stand alone, because they can say, oh, he sounds like him, or she sounds like this one. All they can say is you are who you are.
Yes, sir. And then Brother Griff, just going into the digital age, it's time for brothers and sisters who are trying to get into the industry to stop thinking about getting signed.
Right. Well, I think the whole idea of an artist wanting to perfect their craft and want to be in the music industry need to know and understand that once upon a time we sold and bought 8 tracks. Then once upon a time we sold and bought the physical wax. Once upon a time we went to the cassette. We bought and sold the cassette. Now there's mediums now that we buy and sell through that are probably beyond what we're grasping right now. We can grasp the physical CD. It's hard for people to understand that, when we get down to chips in phones, chips in iPods, chips in computer components and that kind of thing, that's going to be the medium now. The average phone now can hold 2 or 3 songs. So in a few years, you're talking about the digital revolution. And when you talk about the revolution will not be televised, the revolution is going to be digitized to the point where it's going to change. And change is good. Complete, constructive, conscious change. But will the average artist have enough knowledge to say, okay, I can change and adapt to the time in order to make what I'm saying and doing relevant? But can they do that? If you're going to do that, then you're basically going to have to, like Black Dot said, know and understand and study what has came before you, the words and the frequency of the words that you're using now, and all those things are going to lead you to your ultimate goal in this digital world that we're going to be living in.
Yes, sir. And let's just talk about frequency as you brought that up. Mm-hmm. That was a question that I definitely had in mind, is what does frequencies mean for the laymen out there who don't understand what vibration and frequency actually mean?
Okay, well, frequency, we're talking about channels. Just like, I give this demonstration on one of my DVDs that just like when you're listening to a radio station and you want to listen to another radio station down the dial, you change the frequency. You tune in to a different channel to get that particular information. Now, that other station is still there, but you can no longer hear it because you have chose to tune in to a different frequency. And that could be me and you being on the same frequency, meaning we understand each other beyond what most people may understand. So when 2 brothers are on the same frequency, we are moving in the same accord. We understand. We can communicate with each other, not even verbally. We can communicate with each other on other levels. Could be by the work that we're doing. Vibrations in general, or do Griff, you want to answer that, or you want me to answer that?
I can go in, I want you to go into the ohm, though.
Oh, okay.
Simply because the ohm is the greatest sound.
Yes.
Everything that vibrates is in sync with the ohm. All right, everything that vibrates on a positive, I should say. Well, matter of fact, everything, be it negative or positive, vibrates. Now, when you talk about the ohm have 2, sounds inside of the ohm. It's the ah and the o. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, and a lot of things that we deal with, especially when we talk about the higher self, and we come with those indigenous names that the indigenous people call the higher self or God, that sound is inside of the name. You got Jah, Ptah, Allah. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
The vibratory frequency is there. And when dealing with the Om being the largest sound, that frequency runs through everything. Now, imagine the people having to save themselves or understand themselves using the language of another people and having to constantly recreate and be co-creators with the creator and recreate inventive ways to save ourselves using someone else's language. So when our language was taken away from us, we have to now communicate like we used to communicate. When we say we don't see eye to eye and we do this, it's not the two physical eyes, it's the pineal gland where we're trying to connect. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you're talking about the Om and you're talking about frequencies, he was absolutely correct. You go down the dial, the other station is still there, you just don't hear it because you're not picking it up on that particular frequency. You've changed to another frequency. Now in the case of music, we deal with a higher frequency or a lower frequency. And the music that we're hearing today is vibrating on a lower frequency. And everything below here, the navel, dealing with the lower chakras, is sending that negative energy back to the higher chakra, back to the pineal gland, back to the pituitary gland. And it's affecting us because the vibratory frequency of the music, especially the bass tones, is causing you to do things that you're just unaware of.
Exactly. So let me ask this then, and I think this is going in line with the questions that were presented, is back in the day with Public Enemy, Public Enemy was on the vibration frequency that a lot of the music today is not on. It's on a whole nother station. And to be in tune with the people and with your higher self, what MCs or what artists today, if any, that you can think of, either you two brothers can think of, are even on that level?
Well, he lived it. He was there up in Boogie Down, up there in Harlem. So, you know, he was in that grid, so to speak. So he could definitely speak on that back in the day.
In this day and time, nothing has surpassed, in my personal opinion, the vibratory frequency that Public Enemy put out. I mean, there are those who have come close to it and who are trying to use the frequency that was there to, you know, tap themselves in. You have Dead Prez, you know, Common puts out some good music, Talib Kweli, and The Coop, Paris. It's brothers who are still carrying the spirit of that frequency, but Public Enemy, there will only be one. There will never be another that comes and raise the vibratory frequency the way they did. However, there are diabolical ones who understood that. And therefore, the battle began to lower the frequency and keep the frequency of music, sound, thought, and energy vibrating on extremely low levels. And that's the war that we're fighting. People got to stop thinking we're just fighting a physical war. We're fighting a spiritual war. We're fighting a war of the unseen. And there are those who understand who we are and how we vibrate and how that vibration, because when things move, if I drop a rock in the water and it starts to ripple, that ripple goes all the way throughout the ocean. So just like when you hear a group that's vibrating like that, and we are 70% water, so when Public Enemy came and they started ruffling up the energy in the water of the people, it started spreading throughout the people. So understand there are those who are trying to cut off that energy because they know how we operate.
And just to add on to that, how Public Enemy got to that point. There was artists and a vibratory frequency already out there, laid down by Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, Zulu Nation, did a work outside the context of the music. When you heard of the Zulu Nation, you know, you're just like, whoa, you talking about the Zulus? From the motherland? You understand what I'm saying? So that was a work that was outside the context of the music. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know how people view African Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation today, but if you look back and say, wait, they did something that was a lot larger than we ever imagined, because who was talking black and who was calling themselves African then? Right. Do you understand what I'm saying? To say I'm Africa Bambaataa, part of the Zulu Nation, come on, man, that was monumental.